The Philadelphia Literary Festival buzzed with the hum of pretentious chatter, but Professor Simon Hargrove's voice sliced through it like a razor. "Events like this are for real authors," he sneered, his words dripping with venom. "Not delusional amateurs like you, Claire. Shouldn't you be brushing up on your grammar instead of playing pretend?" I stood there, clutching my festival pass like a lifeline, heat flooding my cheeks as that old, familiar shame crashed over me. 11 years had passed since I'd endured his creative writing 301 class. But Hargrove hadn't changed one bit. Same wire-rimmed glasses perched on his smug face, same cutting tone that could shrink me to nothing. "I have every right to be here," I said, my voice trembling despite my best efforts. He snorted, peering over those glasses with a look that screamed, "You're beneath me. Buying a ticket doesn't make you a literary professional, Claire. Some people just don't have the brains for serious writing," as I made crystal clear back in college. A few festival-goers nearby turned to gawk, their curious stares piling onto my humiliation. "My name's Claire Donovan, 31, and for the last decade, I've been clawing my way out of the hole Hargrove dug for me when he shredded my writing in front of his class and declared I was too stupid to ever publish a word. That moment nearly broke me. I almost quit writing for good. But instead, I turned that gut punch into fuel. Hammering out my novel The Shadow Tide at dawn before my soul-sucking day job and burning the midnight oil until it was done. So the irony of running into Hargrove at the same festival? Not lost on me. I'd come to celebrate my success, not expecting he'd even remember me, let alone double down on his mission to crush my spirit. Stick to reading books, not dreaming of writing them. He tossed out with a flick of his hand. Some people just don't have it. As he turned away, I spotted festival organizer Elena Voss striding toward us, her determined gait signaling trouble. My stomach flipped. This was about to get uglier than I'd braced for. Growing up in a sleepy Pennsylvania town, books were my sanctuary. My mom, a librarian, stacked our house with stories. And by 8, I was scribbling my own wild tales of pirates and secret worlds. Writing never came easy, though. Dyslexia turned every sentence into a battlefield, but I kept at it. When I snagged a scholarship to the fancy Ashton University in Philly, I thought I'd finally hone my craft under brilliant minds. Enter Professor Simon Hargrove, a literary titan whose critiques could launch or sink careers. Getting into his exclusive seminar felt like proof my dreams weren't a joke, until he made me his personal punching bag. While he fawned over the natural brilliance of other students, he took my struggles as a personal insult. He'd read my work aloud, his voice thick with mockery, tearing into every misplaced comma. "This is what happens when someone without a shred of comprehension tries to play author," he crowed to the class. I poured my soul into improving nights at the writing center. Endless tutor sessions, rewriting until my fingers cramped. All I got was a D and a parting shot. Find a career that doesn't demand intellect or words. His cruelty lodged deep, a splinter I couldn't pull out. Part of me still chased his approval, convinced his pedigree meant he saw something I couldn't. After graduation, I hauled myself to New York, slaving as an admin at a publishing house while scribbling in secret. 27 rejections later, Hargrove's voice still hissed in my head, "You're nothing." But on the 28th try, an editor bit. Then came the New York Times rave review, the sales, the foreign deals, the movie offer. Each one chipped away at his hold on me but never fully broke it. I hadn't planned to cross paths with him here. My publicist booked this gig, keeping my headliner status quiet at my request. I wanted to slip in unnoticed. Now facing his smug dismissal again, I wondered if I'd ever outrun his shadow. "Claire, there you are. I've been searching everywhere." Elena's voice rang out, cutting through the crowd. Hargrove spun back, eyebrows twitching with faint curiosity. "The production team needs you for a sound check, and the Inquirer photographer's waiting. We've got to get you backstage before the mob spots you." His smug mask slipped, confusion flickering as Elena, festival bigwig, grabbed my arm like I was royalty. "Hold on," Hargrove cut in, forcing a tight smile. "There's a mix-up here. This is just an old student of mine, not someone who needs a sound check." Elena blinked between us, puzzled. "Professor Hargrove, right? You're on tomorrow's academic panel. Claire, we really need to move. The VIP reception's in 20 and the intro team's waiting." Hargrove's face went pale as the gears clicked. "Wait, you don't mean, oh, didn't you know?" Elena chirped. "Claire Donovan's our keynote speaker. The Shadow Tide has been a bestseller for 28 weeks. We're over the moon she's headlining." The shock on his face could have been a punchline if it weren't so surreal. His jaw flapped like a fish out of water. "You're Claire Donovan?" he croaked, arrogance gone. "The same student you said was too dumb to write a grocery list, let alone a novel," I replied, voice steady. "Now if you'll excuse me, I've got a speech to prep." As Elena whisked me away, I caught his stunned gape, a mix of disbelief and the slow dawn of his colossal screw-up. I dreamed of this moment, expecting a rush of victory. Instead, it felt hollow. His opinion, once a godlike verdict, now seemed puny next to what I'd built despite him. But as I stepped into the VIP lounge, packed with literary heavyweights, I couldn't shake the unease. Hargrove had rattled me more than I'd admit. "Claire, sorry about that mess earlier," Elena said, handing me champagne. "I had no clue you two had history." "It's fine," I lied. "Ancient stuff." She waved it off. "He's small fry here, just a panelist. You're the star." She pointed to a giant poster of my book. As we chatted, I spotted Hargrove slinking in, VIP badge gleaming. My gut twisted. Of course he'd worm his way here, still a big shot at Ashton, still credentialed enough to mingle. He zeroed in on me, ditching his old smirk for a slimy grin. "Claire, what a shock." He boomed loud enough for the room to hear. "I always knew you had it in you." The lie hit like a slap. A nearby novelist quirked an eyebrow, smelling the bullshit. "That's not how I recall it," I said, low and sharp. "Oh, you misread my tough love," he breezed on. "I pushed the ones I believe in hardest. Saw your spark right away." Every word was a fresh stab. He wasn't just rewriting history, he was trying to hijack my win. Before I could fire back, Elena got yanked away, leaving me alone with my old tormentor. "We should catch up," he murmured, voice oily. "I'm writing a book on mentoring talent. Your story would be the crown jewel." The nerve left me speechless. I could have unloaded right there. But I stopped. A scene would just feed his narrative that I still needed his nod. "That'd be a stretch, given what you really thought of me," I said coolly. His grin flickered. "Water under the bridge. Pressure makes diamonds, right? My name tied to your rise could boost us both, literary cred for you, broader reach for me." The veiled threat landed heavy. He'd trash me if I didn't play along. Same old power trip from college. As he sauntered off to schmooze, I realized winning wasn't enough. Hargrove wouldn't admit he was wrong. He'd twist my success into his trophy unless I fought back. But how? At the reception, I plastered on a smile, chatting up fans and authors while tracking Hargrove. He worked the room like a pro, nodding my way during hushed talks with editors and critics. "He's saying he molded you," a voice muttered beside me. I turned to see Lila Grayson, an author I idolized, glaring at him. "You know him?" I asked. "Too well," she said, sipping wine. "He pulled this at Princeton, claims credit for anyone who makes it. Heard him tell the Atlantic's editor he shaped your early work." My stomach dropped. "That's a lie." "No surprise," she said. "He did it to another writer last year. Reputation's his currency. He'll ride your coattails if you let him." Then Elena swooped in with a slick guy in a sharp suit. "Claire, meet Travis Klein, the producer adapting your book." Before I could shake his hand, Hargrove pounced. "Travis, good to see you," he crowed, slapping Klein's shoulder like they were buddies. Klein blinked unsure, but rolled with it. "Didn't expect you here, Simon. Wouldn't miss my star pupil's moment," Hargrove beamed, clamping a hand on me. "Her talent shone in my class. I've got her old drafts to prove it." I bristled, but Klein lit up. "Really? We're digging into her roots for the film. Love to hear more." He wasn't my mentor, I started, but Hargrove cut in. "She's humble. One of my standout students, writing about her in my book." Klein ate it up. "Let's talk." The studio's big on origin stories for marketing. They swapped numbers as I stood there, dizzy with rage. Hargrove wasn't just lying, he was muscling into my career. Across the room, I locked eyes with Nate Carter, my real mentor from my publishing days, the guy who'd actually believed in me. Shaped my voice. That's when it hit me. Hargrove was a leech, and if I didn't act, he'd rewrite my life. I pulled Nate aside, spilling everything. "He's done this before," Nate growled. "Leeches off anyone who climbs." "You've got proof, though, his old critiques?" I nodded, picturing the portfolio I'd kept, red ink and all, not for nostalgia, but as a fire under me. How do I use it without looking like a grudge holder? "Your keynote," Nate said. "Tell your story, truth, not vengeance." A plan sparked. But then I heard Hargrove had left with Klein. Spinning more tales. I had to move fast. Next morning, I eavesdropped outside the green room. Her third act screams my influence, Hargrove bragged to a journalist and organizers. Saw her potential early. Funny, the reporter shot back. Claire told us last year a professor crushed her confidence. Misunderstood rigor. He deflected. Look at her now, proof I was right. I barged in, their chatter dying. Claire. Just praising your rise, Hargrove oozed. The reporter eyed me. That true, Miss Donovan? I smiled thinly. He impacted me, sure. You'll hear all about it in my speech. He smirked, thinking I'd folded. I didn't, just asked Elena for a tweak to my intro and some visuals. The convention hall brimmed with 1,000 faces as I took the stage. Hargrove sat smug in row 3, Klein and critics nearby. Elena's intro sang my praises. 28 weeks a bestseller. Critical darling. Then I launched in. Today's about the raw truth of my path. My slides flicked up. My book, rave reviews, then a brutal college paper dripping with Hargrove's red scrawl. Clumsy. No hope. This was my creative writing 301 final. My professor said I was too dim to write. Gasps rippled. More slides. Abandon this fantasy. Then his D grade. No talent, no future. Yesterday, he offered to feature me in his book on ments he nurtured. Said he saw my gift from day one. The room went dead quiet. I met Hargrove's ashen stare. He told me I didn't belong. I believed him until I found real support. Photos flashed, Nate, my mom, my writing crew. They lifted me up, not him. I finished strong, the crowd erupting as Hargrove shrank. Klein ditched him mid-speech. At the signing, fans shared their own scars, connection. Not revenge fueled me. Hargrove tried schmoozing, got iced out. Lila grinned. You slayed him. Academia's buzzing. Later, Nate dropped a bomb. Klein wants you for the screenplay, says your voice is the magic. Then Hargrove slunk up, meek. I'm sorry, Claire. Let's fix this, maybe a joint statement. Still scheming. I signed a book to Simon, thanks for the push, and turned away. No gloating, just peace. That night, Elena said the board axed him from next year's lineup. His empire crumbled, mine stood tall. At dinner with authors I felt free, not because he fell, but because I'd risen my way on my terms. Tomorrow, novel 2 begins, his voice finally silent.